Thinking about remodeling your bathroom? It's one of the most rewarding projects you can possibly tackle as a homeowner. But boy, is it easy to get lost in all the details. So we're going to give you a super clear guide. And we're going to hit the three big areas: what it costs, how the process actually works, and what the real payoff is, both for your home's value and just for your own happiness. So let's start with the first question on literally everyone's mind. Is it really, truly worth it? I mean, we're not just talking about a new coat of paint here. This is a pretty significant investment. So let's look at the actual numbers and see what kind of return you can expect. First up, let's talk about the emotional side of things. Get this, an incredible 93% of homeowners say they have a better quality of life and what's called a higher joy score after they remodel their bathroom. Just think about that for a second. That's a huge testament to how much this one room can really impact your day-to-day life. Okay, now for the dollars and cents. According to the latest cost versus value report for our area, a mid-range bathroom remodel gets you back an average of 58.9% of its cost. So you don't just get that daily joy we talked about, you also get a really solid financial return when it's time to sell your house. It's a win-win. So the value is pretty clear, right? On both fronts. But the benefits, they go way deeper than just the numbers. Let's dig into what a remodel really accomplishes for you and your home. A remodel is your chance to finally fix all those little nagging problems. The leaky faucets, the bad ventilation, but it also lets you plan for the future with accessible stuff like curbless showers. And look, an updated bathroom doesn't just make your house look amazing to potential buyers. It literally transforms a space you use every single day into your own personal retreat. All right, let's talk money. This is usually the biggest hurdle for people, but honestly, understanding what goes into that final price tag makes the planning process so much easier. So, what should you really expect to budget? Well, the costs can vary a lot. A pretty standard mid-range project, that's usually going to fall somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000. But if you're dreaming of an upscale master bath with all the high-end materials and custom work, yeah, that number can easily jump to $80,000 or even more. So why the huge range? Why is one project 40 grand and another 80? Well, that final number isn't just pulled out of thin air. It really comes down to a few key things that, believe it or not, you have a surprising amount of control over. There are really four main things that drive the cost. First, the size of your bathroom. That's kind of obvious, right? More space means more materials. Second is the scope of work. Just swapping out fixtures is way, way cheaper than moving plumbing around. Third, and this can be the biggest variable, is your choice of materials and fixtures. And finally, the age of your home, because older houses can hide some expensive surprises behind those walls. This chart really lays out that budget spectrum perfectly. For instance, if you choose a stock vanity and a prefabricated shower surround, you could save thousands compared to going with custom cabinets and a fully tiled shower. And the same idea applies to tile and countertops. A good ceramic tile is really friendly on the budget, while natural stone like marble, well, that's a premium investment. And here is a pro tip you absolutely have to listen to. Always, always plan for the unexpected. Experts recommend setting aside a contingency fund. Think of it as a safety net of about 15 to 20% of your total budget. This is what's going to cover any surprises you might find, like old plumbing or water damage, without completely derailing your project. Okay, so you've decided it's worth it and you've got a budget in mind. So what happens next? Let's walk through the actual remodel roadmap from that very first idea all the way to the finished room. A professional remodel follows a really predictable path. It all starts with design, then it moves into demolition and what's called the critical rough-in phase. That's all the important stuff behind the walls, like plumbing and electrical. After that, we get to the fun part, installing all the new surfaces and fixtures, followed by those finishing touches that bring the whole space to life. So how long are you going to be without a bathroom? Well, once the construction actually starts, a complete remodel typically takes about 4 to 8 weeks. Now, how complex the job is and any surprises can affect that timeline, but that's a pretty solid window you can plan around. All right, now for my favorite part, the inspiration. What are the hottest trends that homeowners are asking for right now? Let's take a look at what's new in style, comfort, and all-around functionality. Without a doubt, the number one trend is the big move away from those old tub shower combos and toward large, luxurious walk-in showers. People want a spa experience right in their own home, and that shower is the absolute centerpiece of that whole vision.
This quote just nails the feeling, doesn't it? It's not just about getting clean anymore. It's about starting your day in a space that feels like your own personal retreat. This is that joy score we were talking about, right here in action.
But it's not just about the shower. Other features are super in demand. Freestanding tubs are making a huge comeback as a big design statement. And dual vanities? They're practically a must-have for couples these days. And then you've got all the creature comforts, like heated floors and smart mirrors that defog themselves. Those are quickly becoming the new standard.
So we've covered the why, the how much, and the what. The very last piece of the puzzle is the who. And let me tell you, choosing the right contractor is probably the single most important decision you're going to make in this whole process.
The key here is to find what's known as a full-service contractor. What that means is they are your single point of contact who manages everything: the design, the permits, coordinating all the workers, the cleanup. It's basically a one-stop shop approach that makes the entire process so much simpler for you. So when you're interviewing contractors, this is your checklist. You've got to make sure they're fully licensed and insured, that they have a strong local reputation with references you can actually call, and that they give you a detailed written estimate. And pay close attention to their communication style. You're going to be talking to them a lot. And finally, make sure they offer a warranty on their work. A real pro is going to check every single one of these boxes, no problem. So there you have it. We've walked through the entire journey from asking, is it even worth it, all the way to knowing how to hire the perfect pro. You've got the roadmap now. So the only question left is, what's going to be your first step toward creating a bathroom you'll absolutely love for years to come?